watching the live streams, I've been working on this project for a while, off and on. This is a custom of all my original characters. I'm going to be doing some work on it in this video, and I'm going to be using this thin styrene strips, gluing this on to edge out where I'm going to put some sculpting, doing like the costume material. This will be edged up, and that's what we're working on right now. I'm looking at, well, I got this under the light and my magnifier's on too. I'm looking at any other places I need to address. Here needs to be sanded down. Yeah, this needs to come down some. I don't want to pop the leg off. Using the Thor legs on the Warpath hips. They fit, just heat and pop on there, but you gotta work on matching up the sculpt between the legs, get them to line up. Put some epoxy on here already, but this is a little bit of a high spot through here, needs addressed. I'll do that on the next session. First we're going to work on getting these glued down. And I'm going to use the Loctite super glue, professional strength. A little drop there where I can drag my styrene through. Line it up. For this one, I'm actually going to go with the edging for the costume design. That red is actually works pretty good as a guide for the ab section. Using really thin, I think it's 0.15 diameter styrene rod. Put some glue on the back. A little more glue. Slide it up the back of the styrene. Slowly work up. Snip it off. I'm going to slide it up underneath the ab. I took my knife and whittled out some of the material on the inner ab crunch to allow for clearance. We got one side done. Once I get these all glued in, I'll take some epoxy and blend it, smooth it out where the transition goes up to here. I'm going to do the other side. Same way, just drag the tip of the styrene in the glue. Hold it in place until it sits. Hopefully it doesn't stick to me. There we go. it and push it up. I'll just fill into the contours. You want to be careful when you're using super glue on styrene. Super glue actually makes styrene brittle, especially when you're like working on this thin stuff. When you're bonding styrene to styrene, you would use a plastic weld. But we're doing styrene to regular plastic, so we're just using super glue. Go ahead and snip this off before we get up to the higher. That's looking good. Now we get the glue in here. There we go, we got two sides done. Now the trickier part, when we get up to the top, it's going to curve, go up and around. Annoying part too is sometimes trying to get this to stick. You'll stick it to yourself. Hold it steady. That's it. Stay put. This is your new home now. Alright, now let's get some more glue. There we go. We're getting the glue in. I'm going to bend this to where I want it. That looks really good there. This is great for adding like costume piping and stuff too, for your extra detailing on your figures. Now for the fun part, into the butterfly joint. So you'll need to continue. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Now to repeat the other side. That's always the fun part. A little extra glue there. Make sure it's not going to come loose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just hold it down until it sits. There we go. And, scrape the glue off my tip. It's getting built up. Too thick to go underneath. There we go. It looks like a pretty good match. Okay. Got good seats on that. And I'm going to do it differently on this side. Glue off this outer edge while it's still wet. Don't want glue on this side of the seam. This side I'm going to blend with some epoxy on the side. I don't want on this side. This will be my hard edge to my costume seam. Need some fresh glue. I always just use something to set the glue on, drag my styrene through. Had to get me some Instaset. It's great stuff to use for make glue sit up instantly. It's been some reason all this glued up fine. All of a sudden, I'm having a hard time getting it to stick here. So we'll try this again. I recommend too, like you don't have to use the spray on this to set. Just take the lid loose and let it drop on there. That should bond. Yep, bonded. As soon as I touched it to it, it bonded. Much easier. Now we got piping up top onto the butterflies. And we'll do a little piece down here, the connecting piece. And that'll be all we'll do for this session. Mark a center line. I'm going to cut this one to match up a little better. Trying to get this straightened back out. Went down in a curve. There we go. Piping done, and I'll do the epoxy and sculpt through the blend that in. Sculpt in a few some wrinkles through here as well. I want it to look like he's wearing a costume and not body paint. So I like to add some wrinkles and stuff. The Warpath sculpt is very much like a bare chest sculpt. So that's why I went in and filled all this epoxy into the muscle definition to soften it up a little bit, like it's got fabric draped over it. So that'll be all for this customizing session. I do weekly customizing live streams on Thursdays and Sundays. The Thursdays usually a bi-weekly, but Sundays every week. Anyway, thank you for your time watching the video. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time.